Spend a day with me as I do all of the things that help me when I'm feeling stuck, when I'm feeling off, and when I just need to drop into the beautiful gift of the present moment. That stuck feeling, that heavy, restless, something's gotta give, but I don't really know what feeling. I know you know the one. Maybe it's been creeping in for a while now, or maybe it hit you seemingly out of nowhere. But it comes and you feel it. The tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. Where you're at and where you want to be. What you know and what you don't. The in-between, it's uncomfortable as hell when all you want is clarity, movement, a sign. But instead you find yourself here in this frustrating void. So I want to talk a little bit about journaling because I feel like it can have this texture to it of like, what do I do? What do I write about? I pull out my journal and I feel like I don't even know where to start. And for me, journaling has become really potent once I stopped trying to make it something. Once I stopped trying to make it poetic, or I stopped trying to make it anything other than a pathway to clear my thoughts. Because over the years, I've really started to understand that when we're lost in our thoughts, we're not using the parts of our brain that actually require direction. That's why we can get lost in the thoughts and like lost in the sauce. But as soon as we start to articulate or write down, we actually engage the parts of our brain that are a little bit more directional and can help us make sense of something that feels really complex or that feels really hard to digest. Now, of course, on the flip side of that, there's times where we really want to be in the body and not in the directional logic, because it can also be limiting, right? We want to be in the spaces where we can just feel the current and feel the energy moving us and actually move energy. If we only live in the logic, it's a bit restrictive. But when we're feeling lost, when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling just ruminating thoughts starting to build, it's really good to just stream of conscious journal. You can start with like, I had a coffee this morning. Yesterday, I didn't get to the laundry. Like, start with whatever. And you'll notice that as you start to just go through the rhythm of writing, things will start to unfold and come out, and you'll feel really grounded after. Again, if you're just in that like swarming, kind of swelling, lost in the sauce energy, journaling, even just simply for 5 minutes, can have such an impact on our clarity and our sense of groundedness. You can't rush your way into clarity. You can't force your way into your next evolution. And you can't click exit on the void. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it's actually here for you. And you just have to be in it. You have to let it work you. You have to breathe, and instead of asking for answers, ask for a receptive heart, a malleable mind, and an open spirit. So it's a little bit loud out here. It is very windy today, which actually feels like such a welcomed cleanse. It's been very, very hot here in Costa Rica the last week, and this wind is just feeling really purifying, really grounding, really, really welcomed. But I just had my coffee, obviously just got a little bit of journaling done, and before I go surf, I'm going to do a little bit of breath work. I feel like breath work is another thing that can be a little bit like, where do I start? What do I do? But it's so powerful because even just 5 minutes, like an actual full 5 minutes of just deep belly breathing can bring us so deeply into our body, get us so grounded, get us just so rooted and equipped for our day. And then another aspect I like to bring in, especially if I'm, working through some anxiety or life is just life in as she does, or if I'm going to go surf, I like to do a little bit more active breath work. So breath work is really beautiful because it can actually become this portal where we are intentionally activating our stress response so that we can then, in a really natural way, come back into regulation. So it's like a controlled container to upregulate and then come back to regulation, and upregulate and come back to regulation, which is really powerful because then it allows us to do that in our day-to-day life where it's not so controlled and so on purpose. So it just helps our nervous system have a little bit more fluidity. It helps our body have more anchors of safety when we practice here in controlled environments. It just helps us to feel safer out there in the wild. So gonna do a few rounds of just deep belly breathing just to get into my body, and then a few rounds of a more cyclical upregulated breath with some breath holds to, again, just train my body and train my nervous system to handle what life may throw at it. And then we are going for a surf. It is windy, so it's probably not going to be great, but anytime you're in the water is great. So I know you want to push through the stuck feeling. I know you want the book or the quick fix or the simple answer or the person that you can hire to make it all go away. But the truth is, it's an uncovering, it's an unearthing, it's an untangling and a remembering. And someday you'll look back and realize that these moments of stuckness or moments being in the void were actually some of the most pivotal moments in your life. So can you breathe? Can you trust yourself? Can you let the moment do what it's here to do? And can you stay open, grounded, and receptive? Maybe it's a walk in nature, maybe it's a hot bath, maybe it's sensual dance and just moving your body in a really organic way. For me, it's surfing, being in the great unknown of the water and really having to practice trust and surrender and presence. That is where I come back to myself. That is where I resource myself after life has had her way with me. The ocean is where I come back to remember. I know the void is painful. I know the exhaustion and fatigue that comes with feeling stuck. But can you find a pocket of joy? Can you let a moment of beauty or a pocket of laughter come into your life, into your body like a balm to that stuckness? Can you let it resource you more fully so you can walk into your life, walk through your life with even more devotion, with even more yes, and with even more willingness to alchemize whatever comes your way? This is your permission slip to acknowledge the void and still find the beauty, to feel the sensation of being stuck and welcome in movement, to be in the unknown and celebrate the mystery and the gift and the excitement of what may become. So I just got out of the surf, watched the most amazing sunset, which I did not expect because it was very cloudy, but it was so amazing, so breathtaking, such a just wholesome, grounded, beautiful day. Now we're gonna get a little dinner, post-surf cocktail, early to bed, and then sunrise surf tomorrow. So let's go. Love you. I love you. How was your swimmy swim? So good. So good. Perfect surprise sunset. I hope this inspired you to be gracious with yourself, to be gentle, patient, and loving with your journey, and to not fall into the trap or the illusion that happiness is this place that you get to, that fulfillment is things checked off an imaginary list, and that your sense of worth and peace is tied up in how much you can fix. I hope that this little glimpse into how I move through the stuck or the void and how I find pleasure and joy and peace inspires you to maybe take a step left when you normally go right, or maybe lean in when you usually bow out, and to just step into the dance that is life. Life is here, life is happening for you, and you are meant to experience it all, even the sensations of stuck, of empty, of unsure, of the void. There's beauty in it all. Sometimes you just have to dive in, take a deep breath, and let the water wash over you.